Hey everyone, it's Jas, and you are listening to Giving Up the Ghost podcast. This week's episode, we were so honored and pleased to be invited to come out to Amaze in Corn, which is just south of Winnipeg, and it is, I guess, more like down St. Mary's Road, all the way down into the St. Adolphe area. We were able to speak with the owner and proprietor, Clint, and we had a wonderful interview. Unfortunately, it had rained the day before, so we didn't really get to go through the cornfield to check out the haunted forest part. However, it is quite well renowned as far as a Halloween attraction goes. Unfortunately, Sher couldn't join me this week. However, she will be on next week's interview that we have with another Halloween attraction full of scares and spooky stuff this month coming into October. As you can feel the air changing, the temperature dropping, and the leaves changing a beautiful color of orange, yellow, and reds. In saying that, please enjoy this next interview, and as well as a reminder, if you follow us on any of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, even TikTok, you'll notice we've been putting up ads. We are invited to come and join the Witches and Wizards trade show at the Convention Center October 1st and October 2nd. So please come out and check out our booth. We have merch to sell you at a reasonable and affordable price with our logo and a lot of cool stuff. So come on down, come say hi to the Witches and Wizards trade show October 1st and October 2nd at the Convention Center, 10 to 6 p.m. And tell us a ghost story. That's kind of why we're there. We want to hear from you. We want to interact with the people that make us smile and we make chuckle in return. So in any event, that's coming up. A bunch more cool interviews. But in the meanwhile, please listen to our interview with Clint, who talks about the haunted forest at Amaze in Corn. Enjoy. All right, here we are. So I am Jas, and this is Giving Up the Ghost podcast. Typically, I would have my pod partner Sher with me, but she's going to be out for this one. However, we have the honor today to introduce Clint, who owns Amaze in Corn, also the Haunted Forest, and a whole bunch of other endeavors. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've got a little bit of everything going on the property. Corn mazing was our first gig, and then we added, I think, next year was our petting zoo, and so that's evolved over time. And shortly after that was the Haunted Forest. Mm-hmm. So Haunted Forest would be number 3 event. We've done zip lines, and probably the most recent one would have to be the sunflowers. But there's also the snow maze involved in there too.
Excellent. Yes, I do recall seeing the snow maze. We haven't tried it. We haven't been out this way since COVID, but our family used to come every year.
Okay.
So,
sure.
So we're very well familiar with Amaze in Corn and the Haunted Forest.
Okay.
So, and with saying that, what was your inspiration for the Haunted Forest?
It just kind of like, if you have a piece of apple pie and then you're going, what goes with apple pie? And, ice cream is a no-brainer. And we kind of, when the Haunted Forest was actually, this was the first haunt, I think, in Manitoba for sure. And it was started in Eli from Booberry Farms.
Okay.
And so they were kind of getting out. Not sure how I connected with Danny Gerard, but he says, Clint, yeah, we're selling. And so I said, well, I don't know anything about it. It's like in the 11th hour, it was September 1st at the time.
Yeah.
And he says, tell you what, I'll set it up and for an all-in price. And I said, okay, if you could set it up for an all-in price, yes, we're going to do this. So that was just, things just kind of seemed to fall into place.
Right.
And that's kind of how it ended up happening. And then it's just evolved like crazy ever since.
Right. And how many volunteers does it take? How many people does it take to run the Haunted Forest?
We don't do volunteers. We actually, everyone's a paid position.
Okay.
And we've got, usually I like to have a roster of about 25 characters,
right,
that can staff it, because it gets to be a really long October. This year, I think the way it lands is we've got 5 weekends in October. Mm-hmm. And so if you work Thursday night, Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, going around. And I mean, everybody knows there's no full-time haunting gig year round. So they've got to fit it into their day jobs. They got to fit it into their schoolwork or lifestyle.
Sure.
So that's where it gets to be a struggle. So we have to have more than we need to staff the forest just because there's a bit of rotation in there.
Yeah. No, that's good to know. And we did start advertising for you. I put the poster up on Facebook.
Awesome.
And then I'll start
Yeah.
getting the other socials, that we have.
Yep.
So yeah, no, that's awesome. Like, I love scaring people.
Yeah.
I would do it, but I think I'm getting too old to go hide in the forest. So
yeah, it does take some energy. I know that some people underestimate how much energy it takes, but yeah, you're engaged the whole night. I mean, if you've got that energy and it's there, then you want to use it. For sure.
Right. Awesome. So with the rest of your operation, and then the other part that I love when we come out in October, the barn with the pumpkins, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And we have, I don't know how it lined up, but we always were growing some pumpkins, and then I was a little bit shorter, so we'd buy. And so we got to the point in the last 3 years, we've grown up to 18 acres of pumpkins, which is a lot of pumpkins. But last year we had a drought and we were still short. This year we have the biggest pumpkin crop I've ever grown in my life. I've never seen, we're sitting at a table right now.
Yes.
The vines are over the top of the table, like they're waist high. Like, it's something I've never seen. So
awesome.
We can't see the proceeds of what's underneath them yet.
Right.
But they're going to start drying up actually in the next week. So we'll.
But they're there just by the volume, right?
Yeah. That's a strong indicator. You got healthy plants.
Right.
There should be fruit under there.
Awesome.
So.
And going back to the haunted forest, so what are some aspects? Like, what are some of the crazy little bits of the haunted forest that say either you like or that's a big attraction? Like, what are some of the features, like parts of it?
Wow, that's
overloaded question.
That's an awesome question, because now my mind's going through all the stations that I really love.
Well, how many stations are there?
I thought we kind of figured it was about 20 something stations.
Wow.
Like, they're just, some are pretty small and some are just scenes. Right. And
but that's still pretty. That's pretty for big bang for your buck, honestly.
Yeah, it takes. We've been getting it longer and longer and longer, and so it just keeps getting longer because we have the old staple stuff, and we go, hey, let's try this, and let's just add it on. We don't usually shut down a feature, Yeah. So we always reorganize it so that. The scares are in different places. We put different decor, and that way it comes to you a little bit different every year.
Yeah.
The swamp is something that really seems to be a cool effect.
Right.
I don't know if you remember going through the swamp at all.
Yeah.
That's just cool because there's a jump scare. Someone jumps out, around the corner from you. That's a jump scare that can be achieved anywhere. But the swamp, where someone jumps up from below.
Oh my God! No, I don't think I experienced that.
Okay, so I'm kind of giving the trade secrets away a little bit.
That's okay.
But your vision is artificially blocked from seeing below your waist.
Okay.
So you can't see. Okay. So you're walking through this forest and it's like a fog, and it's a green fog, and you can't see anything, and then all of a sudden. The character jumps up in front of you and you never expect it. So I love to do dimensional stuff like that. If we could figure out a way to drop some guy from the ceiling or from into the trees, safely, we would do that too, because I love doing new stuff. The snow maze is new. The corn maze, we were the first one in Canada,
Right.
We just love doing new stuff. So if we can bring a new scare, we love to do that kind of stuff.
Maybe I got a few ideas for you.
There you go.
All this weird, my own story. This is all about you. But when I was a kid and my mom had her house raised, and she had a new foundation poured for her house back in 1980.
Yeah.
And it was empty. There was all this new space. It was all empty. And what I would do as a kid, I would say about 11 or 12, I would hang up sheets from the beams, and I would actually make a haunted house in the basement.
Oh yeah.
I would take the push mower she had stored in the basement. I would put it the reverse way so the blades would go. I'd put a blanket on it and make all my friends sit on the seats, and I would have dolls' heads hanging with badminton rackets.
Yeah.
Just all this weird kind of so I'm all into that.
So
you're
you're like a a born haunter.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
what can we do to just like heighten it even more,
Yeah.
right? Take it to the next level.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, I really embrace what motivates me is the satisfied people at the end of the haunt. I mean, we had little haunts when we were in grade school, and we'd help the gym teacher put them together, and they were fun.
Yeah.
You know, somehow got rooked into that. But that's what gets me excited, is just seeing the reaction of people. I mean, like a scream followed by a laugh is like applause to a haunter. You know?
How eloquently put. I like that.
Yeah. So I know that Glenn, who's is down in the forest, and I think he's been doing it with us for 10 years at least. But him and I, we just like give ourselves high fives when we hear the scream followed by some laughter, because after all, we're out to entertain people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so how long have you done about the haunted forest, do you think?
I want to say it's got to be 14 years or 15 years.
Okay.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, I think we started coming, I'd say about 10 years ago. Yeah, because our son was just old enough to
be able to
go.
It. Yeah.
You know. Like it's, you get so many people, like it's so well known. Like you have like a reputation now, and now you have to keep living up to the reputation.
Yeah,
right?
You know, and not to plug others, but there's other haunts out there. And when we first started, so I don't know when it was. Maybe it was as many as 20 years ago that we've got it. It's shameful, but when we've been in business for 25 years, that I know for sure.
Right.
This is our 25th season.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and so I don't know if it's 20 years, but yeah, when we had it, there was really zero people doing it. Really, I think just us. Mm-hmm. So, but it's good. I mean, I think you'd think that, we have competition now, it's worse. I don't think so.
No.
I think that it was such a new form of entertainment to Manitobans, like, enjoying Halloween with adding a haunt activity.
Right.
We just never did it before. Mm-hmm. But we went to some haunt shows, like Glenn and I have gone, my wife Angie and I have gone, and we just talked to them. It's kind of new. Oh, you're from...
Is that like a trade show type thing?
Yeah, trade show. Yeah, in St. Louis.
Oh, very cool.
Kind of where they typically have them.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but you get that corridor from St. Louis all the way to New York.
Okay.
They've been doing haunts, I'd say, since the 60s.
Okay.
So, and when we talk to them, haunts have kind of like moving in popularity, moving west and west and west.
Okay.
And so they're even late to come to California. Now, I think everyone's doing haunts. Mm-hmm. But so that's what's the nice part about Manitoba's. We're just kind of getting into it too. So it's nice that there's a few haunts that people can choose.
For sure.
And I think people go to more than one.
Yeah, I know we have.
Yeah. It's a time people celebrate a little bit. So so they go, hey, let's go to this one this weekend and go to that one next weekend. And
right.
So that's great.
Yeah, but I do like yours because it's outdoors. It's in the forest, so you get that natural, creepy, dark. Like if anybody's ever been in a forest at night with bare to no light, like your adrenaline goes and your imagination starts playing tricks on you, and you hear things that you probably wouldn't normally hear. So I mean, it all feeds into it. Like it's like your smell, your sight, your hearing, like everything, like all your senses are just like kicking in, right? So
and lighting is a big move we've done in the last, I'd say, 5 to 7 years. Mm-hmm. When we first got it, I mean, all there basically was out on the market. I mean, you're talking 20 years ago. We'd put some floodlights up into the trees, and so it would be kind of shadowy, and that's all we'd get.
And safety-wise, you kind of have to have a bit of light, right, for guiding and all that kind of stuff.
And now we've got to micro pin spots, so people don't even know that it's lit. Like we know it's lit,
right? Instinctively,
you know it's lit, but it's so dark that it keeps you in that. I'm walking through a forest at night.
Yeah,
and that's what. Why would we want to remanufacture what nature already makes scary? Because it's scary. Like if you get dropped off in the forest at night, it's scary.
Oh, of course, yeah. And then plus too, because the added that you're near the creek and stuff, it's not flat. I mean, you have to go up and around, and like it gives that real it is natural.
Yep, and we've got a troll bridge, that actually goes over a washout in the natural ravine. So those little pieces are nice when we could just. and that's Glenn's forte. Like, he loves using the natural,
Yeah.
you know, and I like it too. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I love the sacrifices that take place too, because you kind of do like, okay, you know, it's a part of the attraction, but it's just like that looks a little too real.
Yeah.
You know, just the stuff, and then the one where you have, I guess it's those heating vac pillows thing. You had that a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it's touching you, and it's just like it's creepy.
Yeah, and we play on phobias, right? Too.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
so certainly.
I think that was the spider. It was supposed to be a spider or something.
Yeah,
wasn't
there's
it?
spiders. We have a
Okay.
spider section. Some people are like, I'm not phobic of spiders, but there's people that if you say the word spider, yeah, it works them up. So
Yeah.
so we have the
I can
spider
see that.
section. We have a snake section. Snakes are the same thing.
Yeah.
Even my dad hates snakes, but we have a claustrophobia room.
Oh, okay.
So that's maybe those where it's dark.
Is that the thing with the?
No, that's a
spins?
kind of a vertigo.
A vertigo thing. Yeah.
Vertigo thing. That's a different item, but the claustrophobic room, it really is claustrophobic. Like,
Oh, yeah.
If you're claustrophobic, you're gonna have a tough time getting through. So
Right.
we have a bypass through. There's some things that just you can't put people through.
Yeah.
Like your psyche
Is
won't
that the one
allow
where
you
you have
through.
to crawl through or something?
No, it's just there's two. Basically, there's pillows slammed shut.
Yeah. Okay.
And they slam shut in front of your head, and then when you go through, they slam right behind you, and then you got to walk 20 feet. Watching my kid navigate that for the first time, and it's the middle of the day, and we're putting it together. He's helping me.
Oh yeah.
And then when I turn it on, he's like, "I'm not going through there."
Can I ask how old your kid is?
Well, he was at the time.
Younger.
He's quite a bit older, but he
Yeah.
was about 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 10, and he would go in and until he could feel the outside with his hand, and then he'd come back out.
Yeah.
So-
Are your kids creepy? Like, do they like that kind of stuff? Or?
They all acted in it, and they were super creepy because now all of a sudden you've got clearly this character that's dressed up that you can't recognize. You don't know, is it just a really, really small person? Or is it just a creepy child, which is still just creepy, but
Yeah.
I could only get away with it because, well, they live here and they've grown up with it.
Right.
And that was, I would say that we would creep people right out because sometimes they bring their 6-year-old or 8-year-old friend, and there's 2 8-year-olds in the forest scaring
Right.
people.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And people would be like, now that's creepy.
And at that point, do they consider you cool, or are you still not cool?
I don't know. I don't think they're going to follow. They're not going to follow our trail as haunters and corn mazers because now they're 20 and 18 and
Oh, yeah.
they're doing their thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's not very novel to them. They've grown up with this, right, and been very involved their whole lives.
Nice.
So it's different if they haven't done anything with it, but I mean they've eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff just like we did our whole
Yeah.
lives.
And they may come back to it. You know.
They may,
Yeah.
but one started his own business and the other one has got his eyes on med school. So
Wow, nice.
I'm not sure they're going to come back, but you never know.
You never know.
You
Yeah.
never know.
And generally in year round, your farm is functional. Like you do cropping and all
Yeah,
that good
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. We were harvesting yesterday, and so that's kind of a new thing. Like we didn't get into the grain farming, but my dad kind of retired, and so there was a bunch of acres there. My neighbor to the north, they had a bunch of acres that they said, yeah. So then I've always been in the agriculture industry, and I've always been a farmer, and so I just bought a combine and some tractors, and now we're kind of doing that in addition.
Right.
So makes
Right.
the fall very busy.
It's like a full meal deal. You got sunflowers. You got the corn. You've got the pumpkins. You've got the ice mazes. The snow
the
mazes.
snow mazes.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, we're unfortunately shutting down the zip line, and that.
And the zip line, right?
But that was
Yeah.
a great piece. Like it would have been an all year round kind of going concern, which is what we were trying to work up to. Because
Yeah.
I mean, after all, getting seasonal staff has got its struggles. But if you have something for your core group to do year round, they could be zip line guides in June, and and be haunters. And we do. We have a fellow that he's great in the haunted forest, Jordan, but he was a zipline guide, and
Okay.
he worked in the haunted forest first. So when you got that kind of good boost of energy when people show up, I mean, it's just a natural fit.
Right. Well, yeah, no, it's, we appreciate what you do. I mean, we're all about scaring and hauntings and all that crazy, creepy stuff. So I wanted to definitely sit down and have a talk with you and let our listeners and everybody else know. And we have the trade show coming up, like I said, October 1st and 2nd at the Convention Center. So definitely we'll be putting the word out to have everybody come out this way.
Yeah, send some haunters our way. Send some people that need to be scared. Keep
That's
their adrenaline shot going up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do sell adrenaline shots.
There you go. So I don't think I have anything more to add. If there's anything else that you can think of that you want to let people know about,
No, I think we've got it all.
Covered everything, right? Yeah. So I want to thank you today for sitting down with us and taking time, and all the best. Happy haunting and much success to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Remember to live every day like it is your last, but never give up the ghost.